Was Muhammad a pedophile? Modern Muslim scholars would say no, but the most trusted reference manual on mental disorders, the DSM-5, says he was.
So we're going to go ahead and read the criteria for someone with pedophilic disorder, someone who is a pedophile.
Okay, go ahead and read it to a hearing.
But before we do, let's just recap the Muslim sources saying that Muhammad was sexually active with a prepubescent girls. Narrated Aisha, I used to play with dolls in the presence of the Prophet, and my girlfriends also used to play with me. When Allah's messenger used to enter my dwelling place, they used to hide themselves, but the Prophet would call them to join and play with me. So Aisha and her friends are playing with dolls in Muhammad's presence.
Once again, I greet you, beloved, and I welcome you to u.s.a Media. There are several of disorders, okay, according to psychiatrists. There are several of disorders. There is the anxiety disorders, and also the mood disorders, eating disorders, and also there is the psychotic disorders, and also there is the impulse control and addiction disorders, or there are personality disorders. A lot of them obsessive impulse disorder and all that. I'll be get to me. And there is also the pedophilic disorder. Actually, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. A program went on between u.s.a International and David Wood. I mean, Fadi, and the handler of u.s.a International and David Wood. Okay, it's an apologetic platform, and seriously, from this camp, they actually throw a lot of shades to the Islamic camp. I'll be get to my Muslims can't stand this. Well, Muslims will tell you Muhammad was normal and he wasn't pedophilia. I'll be get to him, and the act he actually involved himself within by laying with a prepubescent girl Aisha wasn't any anything fancy, anything that can be categorized under ill conduct or something like that. I'll be get to remain. Well, we taking a quick break, and surely they're going to give us a proof, okay, from a very authentic source, okay, that actually proves that, or that actually gives us those acts that are under the category of pedophiles or pedophilias. Quick break, and we are returning. You're welcome back, beloved. May God richly bless you for waiting for us. Actually, let's go to Fadi first. He's going to make some statement, and it's leading to the conversation he's going to have with David Wood.
Was Muhammad a pedophile? Modern Muslim scholars would say no, but the most trusted reference manual on mental disorders, the DSM-5, says he was.
Well, yes, it's a nice question. Yes, was Muhammad a pedophile? Perhaps if you're a Muslim, you're actually going to respond, no, he wasn't a pedophile. He's a very good example for the pursuance of Islamic characters or Muslims. He wasn't a pedophile. He was Allah's apostle. He was a holy prophet and blah, blah, blah. Well, what do you say, David Wood, about this?
Like, even if the person is attracted to grown women, if you're also attracted to prepubescent children, to prepubescent girls or prepubescent boys, you have a problem. There's something wrong with you.
Well, that's a very nice point. What next?
Now we have the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders.
Okay, so we actually going to hear him out. He's going to read this to us. Okay, the Diagnostic and the Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Wow, that's very nice. It's going to help a lot. What next?
This is the standard work right now in diagnosing mental disorders.
Well, to say it's the standard work right now, it really means that it has been generally accepted to be the manual that actually speaks of mental disorders. So if we get any reference from this book that is actually saying or pinpointing to the fact that the act of Muhammad toward Aisha is, as recorded in Islamic books, is a pedophile act, then we dare not tamper this kind of research, or we dare not mess around with this information. Then we get to know that Muhammad actually had a mental disorder, and thus his claims are not to be taken that serious. I'll be get to me, because that's exactly what Ellen G. White also did, and as a result of this action, you see SDAs arguing here and there. Well, what next?
So we're going to go ahead and read the criteria for someone with pedophilic disorder, someone who is a pedophile.
Okay, go ahead and read it to a hearing.
But before we do, let's just recap the Muslim sources saying that Muhammad was sexually active with a prepubescent girls.
Okay, we actually going to let's go to the hadiths. He says he will read it to our hearing. Okay, he will read the book to our hearing, and before that, we are going to Islamic sources that actually proves the fact that Muslims are allowed to marry a prepubescent girl. You get that? Muslims are allowed to do that. Perhaps you don't know a prepubescent girl. I think I've ever had a program over here in regards to Muhammad being a pedophile or laying with a 6-year-old girl. Well, I actually stipulate 6-year-old girl, and I say that he had something doing with this girl at age 6, because if indeed he had nothing to do with her at 6, but from age 9, why at all would Muhammad go to her parents and request her hand in marriage? Or why would he have to snatch her away from her parents, okay, if he wasn't ready to lay with this pubescent girl? Or we get to me, if he wasn't willing to do something with her at age 6, why would he actually go for her from her parents? And why were her parents trying their possible best to feed her badly, so as to make her be like someone who has been filled with what is sawdust. I don't know if you've ever encountered a sack that has been filled with sawdust before. How we get to it? It isn't upright, but you're trying to forcefully chip something within it, so it becomes something giant. Meanwhile, it's useless, or it's worthless, or it doesn't worth what actually you're going to use it for. This is exactly what was done to Aisha, and it's very bad act from the side of Abu Bakr and his wife. I don't know, perhaps they were under the pressure of Muhammad. He was pressurizing them. Well, let's go to the first hadith. David Wood is actually going to help us with the first hadith. A.
Sahih al-Bukhari 6130.
Thus, Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith numbered 6130. Sahih al-Bukhari, hadith numbered 6130. Okay, that's nice. What next?
Narrated Aisha, I used to play with dolls in the presence of the Prophet, and my girlfriends also used to play with me. When Allah's messenger used to enter my dwelling place, they used to hide themselves, but the Prophet would call them to join and play with me. So Aisha and her friends are playing with dolls in Muhammad's presence. Any Muslim who's reading that would wonder immediately why she was allowed to play with dolls when dolls are images and images are forbidden. But we have the solution right here. The playing with dolls and similar images is forbidden, but it was allowed for Aisha at that time.
Yes, it's a very nice question, because in Islam, it is, I think Muslims teach that it is prohibited for one to be playing with dolls or something like that. We get to me. But Aisha, why was she allowed to be playing with dolls in front of Muhammad? Muhammad would go to her dwelling place, and she would be playing with her friends, and she would be playing with her friends. She and her friends would be playing with a doll, or by using a doll or something like that. Why was she allowed to do that while it's prohibited in Islam? So it's a very nice question. What next?
As she was a little girl, not yet reached the age of puberty. So she was a little girl, hadn't reached puberty.
Okay, what next?
Let's read another passage from Sahih Muslim. Sahih Muslim 33:11, Aisha reported that Allah's apostle married her when she was 7 years old, and she was taken to his house as a bride when she was 9, and her dolls were with her.
This really proves that she was a little girl. She hadn't yet reached the stage or the age of puberty. Okay, she was a pre-pubescent girl. Okay, a pre-pubescent girl. What I mean by pre-pubescent girl is a girl that hasn't yet reached puberty stage or puberty state. I'll be getting with me. That is it. So Aisha hadn't yet reached her puberty stage or puberty state, and Muhammad actually laid with her. So this is exactly what makes him a pedophile. Muhammad was in his 50s, that is 54 years, when Aisha was 9 years, according to Islamic sources, when he began laying with her. Aisha herself says that she was 9 when Muhammad began laying with her. Wow, she went through a lot. What next?
Also in Sahih al-Bukhari, number 5153, he ties it all together with what the Quran says. Giving one's young children in marriage is permissible by virtue of the statement of Allah. And for those who have no monthly courses, i.e. they are still immature, so this is talking about sex with girls who have no monthly course. They don't have a monthly menstrual cycle, and it's talking about divorcing them after having sex with them. And it says that the iddah, the waiting period for the girl, before she can get married again after her husband divorces her.
This another authentic Islamic source that really affirms the fact that Muhammad actually taught that Muslims can be laying with pre-pubescent girls if you are in your 80s, if you are in your 60s, if you are in your 50s, if you are in your 40s, you can lay with a 9 years old girl, 13 years old girl, 16 years old girl, or whatever. I'll be getting with me. So you can be drenched into that kind of act if you are Muslim, because Muhammad sets a very great example for you to also follow suit, because that's exactly what he did. Okay, what next?
The girl before puberty. So this is clearly and indisputably talking about prepubescent girls.
Okay, so according to David Wood, yes, looking at all these sources, all these references or citations he gave, really affirmed that Aisha was a girl before puberty. And so this is clearly and indisputably talking about prepubescent girls. Well, it is true. Okay, she, including her playmates, were prepubescent girls. Okay, they were toddlers. They were kids, they were children, and surely but they could have been like Muhammad's grandchildren. I'll be getting with me. Yes, they were playing with dolls, just like children would be doing, and they were kids that or toddlers that would be requesting for toffees, alewa, elewanyo, abelewos, and all that. I'll be getting with me. That is it. So they were very young. They were very young, and they hadn't yet been thinking of what actually is meant by sexual relation or something like that. So perhaps Muhammad, when he had wanted to do this with her, she didn't know what actually it was. Okay, she didn't know what it was. So Muhammad would just tell her, "Hey, are you ready? Let's do it." And before she realizes something great was. I hope you get it. So Aisha went through a lot. We call it a day, and surely David Wood is going to help us with the authentic source he was talking about. Okay, and this book is actually going to, that is BSM5. Okay, BSM5, and this book is very much authentic. It has a record about pedophilic disorder, and what actually it's meant by pedophilic disorder. If Muhammad is categorized under this meaning, then it really means that he was a pedophile. Well, we are coming to go to this kind of source he's talking about. We are ending up here, and surely we are going to continue in the next session. Seriously, there is an end to everything we're doing over here on earth. We are informative beings. We carry information wheresoever we go, and without us there wouldn't be the happenings of events in a lot of countries. Religions are superfluous in our countries, in our world, but how can people study a lot, and how can they get or attain some knowledge about all religions? That's exactly what we're doing over here. Most especially being a Christian and Christian apologist, I tend to always express my view in regards to what even the religion that has been rival to presented since time immemorial has said, that is Islam. And on this program, we present reasonable polemics against authentic historic Islam, and we created the awareness that indeed Christ descended purposely for man's redemption. We cannot do this without you. That's the exact reason we want sponsorship. Yeah, you can help with the provision of machines so we can go out there for debates and all that. And during this debate, you know for sure something miraculous happens sometimes. People actually learn a lot, and even if the Muslim has questions sometimes, they cannot confront you while you are here on the show. But if we go out there for a program seriously, they can ask several lot of questions, and we help heal several many wounds. You can help with anything that can help propagate the efficacious gospel of Christ. And I think there are some specific people in our world today who are into this kind of sponsorship works, and that is Brother Dan u.s.a.
Na some social media so nya anianom bi a wɔn Muslims ɛyɛ debate. Na mi tie wɔn arguments ɛne nneɛma a wɔn yɛ no a na mi die ɛyɛ bɛyɛ paa. Na wɔn baako ɛne mmienu ɛwɔ ha. Obi man Church of Christ preacher wɔ ha. Na brother baako a ɔyɛ bɔɔl Lɔsin TV no. Ɛdeɛnom wɔn adwuma na wɔn yɛ no. Me support no. Ɛwurade nhyira no. Wɔn kɔ so ara na wɔn yɛ. Minimum dodoɔ but 25 million and I'm the number.
May God richly bless you for what actually you did for us, and it actually told us for sure that you do follow this program and you love it. You love the propagation of the efficacious gospel, and also Brother Ken Biney, may God bless you, and as well Mr. COD, Mr. Peter, Uncle Sam of Toronto, Canada, Ghana House, Mr. Edu. We need your sponsorship. Specifically, I've mentioned your name because I actually know what you're doing in the system, and whosoever, if you wheresoever you are, you can pick up the contact that is emerging on your screen and communicate us, so you can discuss with that what actually you would love to help with. May God richly bless you. Your sponsorship is needed.